18 tips to have the perfect start in The Witcher 3 2024. Stay tuned for that. What's up, guys? I'm Franky Boy. On this channel I'm covering everything regarding The Witcher, so leave a like and follow if you enjoy this kind of content. Well, I'll let you decide at the end of the video, right? Now, in my countless hours for The Witcher 3, I collected some tips, and those most helpful for your perfect start I will give you right now. And with that, I of course mean if you're in the area of White Orchard. We will go over general tips, the best places to go, the places to search for. So we will start right here at the bridge where it all began, and we will head towards the town that never sleeps. Oh, and there's no chart for me here, right? So tip number one is to go to Willis right here and first do his quest. You find Willis at this grindstone next to the Wosong Bridge, and you simply talk to him and do the quest. Then you'll be able to purchase and get some armor. So that's really useful. Do this first, I would recommend. Tip number two, immediately start grinding alchemy and herbs. So you're gonna go around the town, get the herbs, you can see them anywhere, simply collect them. Ah, Geralt, jump there! The next Witcher needs to have some better jumping animations with Ciri. And collect all the stuff, the white myrtle, you will need it at some point, because later on we will talk about potions as well. First potion I would recommend is of course to get the Swallow. It's the healing potion and it's extremely useful for you. Tip number three, sign fresh up. So let's go through all the signs. Eden is the first sign on the left hand side. It creates this purple circle, and ghosts, or how are they called in The Witcher? Yeah, let's say specters in general, especially for wraiths. They really suffer from Eden. You can also look it up in the bestiary, of course. It's B on the PC if you simply want to press it. They will move into this and they will suffer from more damage received by you, also being slowed down. Very useful against those. Next up, Quen. It's the sign of defense. It will give you a defensive skin that can be hit once, and then you will get on your... you will simply be killed immediately if you lose it. No. Now, this can also protect you against high-level enemies. Very useful in the normal version of it. You have alternative versions that you can unlock via the skill tree. Next up, Igni, simply igniting, also igniting torches or candles, but also enemies, and some of them have a weakness against Igni, pretty straightforward. Used to be my favorite sign when I started with Witcher. Right now I would say it's Quen. Yeah, Quen is just awesome. Next up, Axii. It's the defensive, or let's say the crowd controlling sign, especially useful against enemies with shields. Use Axii, simply step behind them, no need to parry, no need for combinations, just use Axii, go behind them and kill them. The last but not least is art, and I simply love art. It's not only awesome for breaking walls, but as well to get enemies down from horses. And yeah, it's just simply a great sign. I love it, and you can also mod it so it's like a snowy thing, but that's an endgame thing for you. By the way, I have endgame guides, speed leveling guides available. Simply check out my channel if you're in need for that. Tip number four, best talents. Let's move to the character tab. Like right from the start, I would totally recommend get Gourmet first. Gourmet is so awesome. It will let you regenerate vitality for 20 minutes straight with only one piece of food. Also, I would recommend the combat tree for basic upgrades. Like maybe get some muscle memory first and precise blows. And also consider some cat school or griffin school techniques, I would say, in the first place. Tip number five, the places of power. Now, they are pretty awesome, and there are a lot of them in the tutorial area. So first up, we have Crackler Bridge. Eastern from it, here's a place of power. Then from the mill, northern to this graveyard, we have the next one, and still northern from Wappa. Still northern from that one, we have yet another one. Next place of power, west from the mill, or northeast from the sawmill. We have one from the broken bridge to the south, from the abandoned village to the east, and that's all of the places of power. Pretty awesome. You should definitely collect all of them in your playthrough, because you will get talent points and sign intensity boosts, but talent points, that's what you're aiming for. Alright. Next up, let's get our horse. It's amazing. Now, when riding a horse, you normally consume stamina. You can see it below. Horse stamina is of course consumed once you simply go into the gallop. Is it called gallop? I'm not sure. In Germany we call it Galopp. If you use it on a way, double Galopp, hoppa, the stamina won't deplete because you're on a way, and you can use that in those horse ridings, like those races as well. It's so incredibly useful, and once you leave the way or take over control on a road, yeah, then the stamina will still deplete though. But a pretty nice trick for long distance runs. Tip number 7, intoxication management. Everything is management today, so the intoxication level as well, of course. How do you intoxicate yourself? By drinking potions and so on. And as you can see, my potion, and they are active, but as well is my intoxication active. And you can clearly see, you can't see, because I have this awesome mask on. Let's get rid of the mask. I can't. Or can I? Yeah, I can. Right now, Geralt looks not too good. And my health is also decreasing because of my intoxication level. If you're below 50, like everything is just fine, keep in mind that you should consider not crossing that threshold of 50%, because otherwise you will lose health. You are too intoxicated. Bam, bam, bam. And I'm not too sure if food can heal up against that level of intoxication. Let's try. What do we have here? By the way, this is why Gourmet is so awesome. You can simply have the healing up. Yeah, it's kind of averaging out, I would say. Though I can still drink a swallow. I can't because I'm too intoxicated. Simply keep that in mind. You can also increase your intoxication level through talents, for example. You can use the alchemy tab, or you can go to the general one and have the maximum toxicity increased by 30 points. Awesome talent as well. Tip number 8, how to become rich. Yeah, of course, totally recommended to grind this white orchard area. You will need it, because one of the last tips, I will show you the best armor you can get in the tutorial. It's freaking awesome, and you should consider grinding this. Tip number 9, make sure to adapt your map. Normally it's set to default, you can see it down here, but I should suggest to switch it up to all. You have much more visibility of the places of interest, and you now know where to go, what you already did, and where you not should look for something anymore maybe. Yeah, I would totally consider for myself checking out this area once for more, but other than that, I'm pretty set with what I explored in the area. Next tip, tip number 10, always search for the quest boards and make sure to accept all of it that is there. You can simply go there and press E fast and have everything, because it will reveal places of interest around the cities or the places where you are. Like maybe it will unveil this guarded treasure or so for you, but also of course give you new quests so you can grind some XP and some crowns as well. Tip number 11, let's go to the mall. No, not to the mall, but to the tavern, because in the tavern we have something awesome. All right, to the left hand side right here. And we can clearly see this storage stash, and we can use it map wide. That's the map wide storage. Simply, if you have too many items with you, no matter what, put it in there. You might be in the need of them later. I put all of those trophies in there, some armor I'm not using, or some cosmetic professor spectacles that I just want, but I don't wear them at all. Or of course the crossbow bolts. Something you don't need that is heavy, maybe put in some dice or so, I don't know. I mean, they don't weigh anything, but they will totally increase your loading time when you load the inventory. Yeah, that's true. When I load my inventory, it needs a second, and it has been pretty bad at a certain point where I had the infinite inventory mod and I had just everything with me. So loading times can be a thing as well. Tip number 12. Now, just a quick tip, make sure to use your surroundings. For example, when fighting on a cliff, make sure to use art to push enemies down, and they will simply die from the fall damage. When seeing like an explosive barrel, make sure to use Igni. Also, you can use choke points. What are choke points? Places where enemies can't like pass through infinitely, e.g. these stairs. You could totally like stun 1 or 2 enemies on these stairs with Axi and then have the enemies stalled. They cannot pass because the way is blocked, or a doorway is an easy example, and you can just kill them one by one. So keep that in mind and try to adapt that behavior now, because you will thank me later in the long run. Tip number 13, decisions. Decisions can be made, and they are pretty important in The Witcher. They will somehow decide on whether you get a nice or a bad ending, depending on your interpretation of nice or bad as well, but keep that in mind. Also, you should consider skilling this, like the delusion, because Axi effectiveness in dialogues can be increased through the skill tree, and it's here in the sign tree on the right hand side. Delusion, the first one. Maybe consider it. Of course, not only just skilling it, but you need to put it into your active skills as well. Otherwise, some decisions are not available for you in the story. Of course, you could like look each of those quests up online and always decide freshly on whether you want to put that talent in now or not, because there might be a decision waiting for you, but I would just, for the sake of not caring too much about anything, put it in all the time. Tip number 14. Plan your progression, and for that, of course, again, make sure to grind through all of this. Plan your progression not only through the whole game in general with loot, etc., but also through your character trees you want to conquer. Always make sure to keep that in mind and have a route for yourself in your own head. It might be useful. Where am I? Where do I want to be? And what do I want to change about my Geralt? Do I want to change my build? Then I maybe need to grind something. Do I want to keep it that way, but I just need a better weapon? Maybe I'll look one up and then I'm good to go. Tip number 15, awesome recipes. Make sure to check out, of course, the herbalist here next to the sawmill, but also to loot all of these recipes here and craft them. Why is that so awesome? Alchemy crafting is crucial, and once you crafted a certain recipe, you don't need to craft it again. You simply need alcohest to fill it up. It's like an infinite refill flat rate that you get here at Witcher. How awesome is that? Simply craft the alcohest, and then you need to meditate, and after meditating you will have like the next hours or so, but simply you can just meditate for 1 hour and you will have the free refill of all the potions you got. Also, your intoxication level is gone, and that's a nice combo sometimes, but some things could be reset as well regarding the enemies. Tip number 17, regarding the inventory quick breakup. On the left hand side of the inventory there's crafting and alchemy, explains for itself. We have quest items and other is just like the trash can of The Witcher, and you can clearly see, yeah, that's a lot of books, coins, things of worth, etc. Then we have food and drink and roach, and why the heck is that mixed? Roach is nothing to eat. Doesn't make any sense, but keep in mind there are awesome upgrades for roach, like you can put a trophy in for bonus gold or XP, saddlebags, a saddle, and I would totally recommend this one from the Hearts of Stone DLC, which is the best saddle in the world. Well, not the world, but in the game. Also horse blinders. Keep that in mind to simply scroll through it and put it in. We have oils, which are active usage for our swords. Keep that in mind. You need to use those oils all the time. It's pretty annoying. Get auto apply oils if you play on PC. Best recommendation ever. It will change your life. Potions and decoctions, both great as well, while the swallow is like the most useful ones for beginners, and on bombs, of course. Last but not least, weapons and armor explains for itself. Keep in mind you have the runes and the rune stones here at the bottom of those windows. And yeah, tip number 18. Remember this guy over there? You can see him? Weep, weep. Rescued that merchant from that birdie thingy at the beginning, and he actually is quite awesome because he sells you the best armor in White Orchard. The Temerian armor is sold right here, and it has 4 parts, and it's a light armor, so you can combine it with a cat school technique, and it has some pretty decent stats, especially for the start. In my case right here, it's for level 56 because it's a new game plus file. In your case, it will be lower likely. But also make sure to sell the things at the right vendors, at the blacksmith, or I don't know, at him. You can't sell anything everywhere. Also need to keep in mind that you need to balance it around the budget these traders have. But yeah, if you need the location of the merchant, anyways, it's here at the Rosong Bridge, again, at the very start where it almost all began. I mean, yeah, somewhere eastern from that, right? Where was it? Was right here, right? Not too sure. The Witcher 3, it's just an awesome game, and I hope you enjoy yourself in that awesome game. Feel free to join me on my journey through The Witcher 3 while waiting for The Witcher 4. And as stated before, I have a ton of other videos about The Witcher already available, e.g. the top 3 builds in The Witcher 3, or a speed leveling guide that you need to level up pretty fast, and it's still working. So thank you so much for tuning in. I will speak to you in the next video, and goodbye.